you, Multicultural channel. Today at the Newcomer Network, I am going to talk with my friend Carolina about English language test, specifically about the CELPIP. Welcome, Carolina.
So thank you so much for having me here. I'm so happy to be with you.
Yeah, I'm so happy that you came on board with us.
Thank you.
So before we start talking about this amazing topic, I would like you to introduce yourself.
For sure. So my name is Carolina Moreno. I'm a CELPIP teacher, English teacher as well, and I'm a settlement worker for more than 3 years now.
Wow, this is great.
Yeah.
You have that experience as an English teacher, but also working with newcomers in a new country.
Yes, and it's really amazing to be helping others.
Yeah.
Like the way they help me as well.
Yeah. You know, Carolina, when I came to Canada, I remember I took the IELTS test. And when I applied for permanent residence, I took the CELPIP, and I didn't reach the level,
CLB, yeah.
the CLB, the level, I don't know, that I needed. So I started taking some online classes and watching videos, tutorials, and in less than two months, I reached a 9.
Wow,
and
amazing.
I know that it was not about my English, it was about the technique.
That's true, because the most important is to talk about the strategies. You can have an amazing English, or you cannot have any English at all. But if you understand what they're asking you, and you know about the strategies, and you only answer what you really need, is where you can get a higher score. So sometimes we just think that we need to improve our vocabulary. We need to just study more about, study about math, history, science. And it's not only about that. I mean, to be honest, is to know more about strategies for each one of the skills.
Yeah.
So it's something that people do not understand. They say, I know English, I know everything related, but once they're having their English exam, and sometimes they're not mentally prepared, and when they have to choose like multiple choice, or they have to speak, they don't really understand the instructions. So we have to follow some strategies to get a higher score.
Yeah, that is true. And you know what? I was wondering, what if an English-speaking person, let's say a Canadian, is taking the test? Sometimes if they don't have the structure, they don't know how it works, they are not going to reach that level, because it's not about the language, it's about the technique.
Exactly, and that's when people can get really frustrated. Look, I also took the CELPIP test, and to be honest, I was trying to study, all the vocabulary, everything that they told me, like, hey, you have to do this, you have to do that. And then once I did this exam, I realized that it was very simple. I just had to understand and follow instructions. I reached a good level. I reached also 9, but then when I became an instructor, I got like 12, and I said, it's all about strategies. So to be honest, it's just to study what you need to do. Some of the skills can, like for example, the speaking skill, it gives you like 5 or 6 tasks, and that's what you have to take into account, the tasks. Also for speaking, it's about daily conversation. So it doesn't have to be an advanced conversation, not to know a lot of vocabulary. It's just to focus on what they're going to ask you. What is the main topic of it? And sometimes people get really, they get stressed because of the time, because if I don't get the right choice, or I don't know what to do. So sometimes they don't even answer at all. Yeah. So the probability of having a good score, is going to become less and less.
Yeah.
So that's what it is.
Yeah, and sometimes people get very nervous. For example, I get very nervous when I know that someone is evaluating something in me. I could speak to 1,000 people, but if you ask me to speak in front of 3 people just to see how I do, and I know what you want, I get nervous because I know you are evaluating me.
Yes.
Because I'm thinking, oh, what if I do wrong? What if I make a mistake? What if? So many people struggle when they take tests.
Especially when it's speaking time. People say, you know what, I can read, I can listen to instructions, but once I have to do like the speaking task, they get really frustrated and they feel that they cannot speak.
Yeah.
And sometimes they just, just don't speak at all. Yeah. So I tell them, no, you have to just listen carefully what they're asking. So there's something that it's really interesting in our culture, like a Latin culture. They ask you a question and you will answer like 20 of them, something totally different. So this is something that we have to avoid. We have to be able to listen carefully what they're asking and just answer what they really know. So if they ask you, what is the main topic? And you start saying other things.
Giving details.
Well, exactly, giving details. But if you're not giving the correct answer, like if you don't focus what they really want, well, of course, you won't have any score.
For those people who don't know, there are 4
like tasks, skills.
No, the 4 skills that should be evaluated, that are speaking,
listening, writing and
reading.
Reading. Yeah. Oh my gosh. So reading is one of the biggest challenge because when it's reading, they give you a topic. And if you don't understand, like they give you, like when you start reading, you always start like from the beginning, obviously. But once you start reading and you don't understand what's the context about, because they will ask you about dates, specific dates. They will ask you about the context. And if you don't understand, and you get really nervous, you will get lost. So you are not able to answer the multiple, they give you multiple choice. You're not able to answer. So then they give you only a minute and they go with the next question. So if you don't pay attention and you don't read carefully, you're not able to answer any of it. So I really advise that when they give you a piece of paper, try to use some symbols. Try to write the specific dates and the names of the people, the context. What is the context about? If you, of course, you don't have time to write too much. So write the specific things, the main important things, the date, the context, how many people, if it's talking about science or if it's talking about a specific topic, take into account. Basically, the reading task, they will give you a reading and you have 4 or 3 paragraphs. So remember what it says in each paragraph, the important details of each paragraph. Because once you read it, you won't have access to that reading. So you have to try to to write the details of each one of the paragraphs, the important details. That's it.
I don't have that memory, remember those details, and it's very hard for me. So taking notes was something very helpful.
Exactly.
The same with the listening. The same with the listening. I was taking notes because for those people who don't know, so many people don't know how the CELPIP work. And it's on the screen, you have your task and then you have the test, so you won't see it anymore.
When you are listening to that conversation, because it's a daily conversation, it's not that advanced, so you have to write the important details of it. Yeah. So if they're talking about what kind of a context are they talking about, so write it. At the university, at the university. How many people are talking? Who is talking? Like a teacher with a student. What are they talking about? An English test. What is an English test? Everything that you think it's important to write it down.
So those 2 tips are very similar for listening and reading.
And reading.
Take
yes.
notes.
Take notes
all the time. Take notes. You're
That's
listening, take
important.
notes. You're reading, take notes.
Okay, it can be very heavy because the exam is for 3 hours. So you will be sitting down for 3 hours. And sometimes people get very frustrated when they have to use their headphones and listen to this conversation because all of the other people who are taking the CELPIP will have their, headphones, so you can get distracted easily. And to be honest, not everyone who's sitting down with you taking the same exam will have the same conversation, will have the same exam. So that's something different because that happened to me. I did my exam and with a friend at the same time in the same place. And when we were talking like, hey, did you hear this? Like the listening conversations, she said, no, mine was totally different. So it's not something randomly. Wow. So it's something that you can study online, you can do a lot of activities, but it won't be the same.
Let's keep going with the other skills. Speaking.
Okay, speaking is a very challenging one. Speaking is like for 55 minutes. We have 8 different tasks.
8, yeah.
So it's something that you have to describe, scene. So they will ask you like, okay, what is the main context of the scene? So
they will show you a picture.
View, it's a picture. So you have to describe the biggest images and then the smallest ones. So don't focus on the smallest ones first. It has to be the biggest ones. Also, if you're gonna, like, if there's a park, so talk about what is in the main center of this picture. If there's a river, if there's some apple trees, if there's some, animals like horses, bears. So focus on these big things. And then you can just give details about what's in the surrounding. Also, they will be talking about a difficult situation. So there's going to be a difficult situation and you have to describe it. Also, you're going to be able to express opinions, like point of view, right? They will show an image and you will give some predictions about this image.
This is for you to use the verbs?
You can use the verbs, so it's going to be for future, because when you predict something, it's going to be the future. So this is when you use will, going to, something that will happen afterwards. So you have to focus on the big thing and then the smallest details.
Oh. So that's the tip. Focus on the big thing and then the smallest one, the details. But there is another task, comparing and persuading.
So for example, they can show you a townhouse, they can show you a condo, and they can show you a mansion. You're going to choose which of these ones would you prefer. So if you choose the townhouse, you have to then give your answer, you have to persuade. You have to say, why did you choose this one? For example, you pay a condo fee that is very cheap and you don't have to shovel. You won't have to do, you don't have to trim the grass. So that means that if you live in this kind of house, you don't have to do anything. You just pay for the condo fee. If I choose the mansion instead of the townhouse, it's because I have kids that are, teenagers, and they will be helping me to trim the grass, to shovel the snow, or to keep the house clean, right? So you have to persuade. You have to say why you choose this, and you have to convince them. So that's the idea.
So we have 2 missing ones.
It's about expressing opinion, and it's when you will get like information about something that is happening, and you will express your opinion and with your point of view. So always when you're going to give details about it, it has to be something important, something general, and then you will talk about the specific.
Oh, very similar.
Yes. So it's something that you can just express easily without giving too much details about it.
There's another one that I found it very weird, and it's talking about something very unusual. For example, they show you a tiger with wings and with a crown. I don't know, something that is very uncommon, and you have to describe it. Exactly. That was someone that called my attention. It was very difficult at the beginning, but then when I got the tricks, I could make
Exactly.
it.
And this point of view, nothing is good, nothing is bad. I mean, it's your point of view. But the idea is that when you're going to express it, it has to make sense. It has to make sense. And the way you express it, obviously, it has to be in present tense. And you have to say why. Like you were saying, this animal is very strange because it has wings, and for example, the tiger doesn't have wings, so it made me laugh. Something really easily, but it has to make sense. That's all.
Yeah. So we did the 8 tasks of the speaking. And
Yes.
what about the writing?
Okay, so the writing can be a little bit not that challenging because it's only 2 tasks. It's about writing an email. So writing an email, like in our way of when we speak Spanish, you first say your greeting, and then you're going to express the concern or the subject, and then you're going to add something like, I'm hoping to hear from you soon, and then you say best regards, thank you, and you just write your name.
So I think we're done with the 8 tasks of the listening. Let's go with the writing.
Okay, so for the writing, we have 2 main.
You said it was okay? For the
Yeah,
writing, we have 2
perdóname.
tasks.
Sorry, just
For the writing, we have 2 tasks.
for the writing we have 2 tasks. We have writing an email and the survey. Yeah.
And the survey?
Yeah, and a survey. That's the 2 tasks.
Okay.
Okay, so for the writing part, we have 2 tasks. So
it's
writing
easier.
an email. Yes, it's easy. Because one is writing an email and the other one is just a survey. So for writing an email, is just to take into account the subject. And if it's an informal email, so it's going to be easier because you don't have to write that much. Because you can just write the name of the person, like dear friend, and I hope this email finds you well, or I hope you are okay. And then the subject of it, and then you just say, I'm hoping to hear from you, or hoping to see you soon, my friend, and you just write your name.
I remember when I took my test, it was about a problem with the airplane ticket or something, and I had to make a complaint on the email.
Exactly. So what did you write on the complaint? Like, how did you structure your email?
To be honest, I don't remember a lot, but I started explaining what happened and then what was my complaint. And by the end, what I was hoping to happen after that. And then
you did well.
Thanks in advance. Do they count the words?
Yes, they do. You have to have at least 250 words. I think they give you a maximum, but you need to have at least 250 words. And when you're expressing, like you want to express yourself, it's going to be in present, right? So first, a greeting, a very nice and short greeting, and you're going to tell them what happened, and then you're going to tell them how you want this to be solved. And then you say kind regards, hoping to hear from you, thank you.
It depends on...
It depends. But to be honest, it has to be 250 words. So this is something that we know how to do. Like in our countries, we know how to write emails perfectly. So just take into account what is the main purpose of this subject.
Based on
this
the
email.
situation that they asked you.
Situation.
So writing an email, and the second one?
Is going to be a survey. So for the survey, they will give you two choices, and you will have to choose one. And they will tell you, why did you choose that one?
Oh,
you have to give your reason, at least 2 or 3 main reasons.
Okay. Details,
so
like
details, and why did you choose that?
It's kind of complicated, you know. After you take it, you see it very easy, but when you're nervous,
it won't be that hard because it's something that you do, like something that's in your daily activity. So it's they're gonna be talking about food. They're gonna be talking about traveling. It's gonna be talking about medical appointments. It's just to put yourself, like if it was you, like something that you will do, like you will choose, and why. That's all. It's not that hard.
Now, Carolina, let's move on. As a settlement worker, what do you do in your daily work?
Okay, I really love my job because I'm able to help my clients the same way I was helped.
Wow.
So as a newcomer, what's your first concern? Where are my kids going to study? What do I need to do to open a bank account? What do I need to be able to have a cell phone, to have data in my cell phone? How I'm gonna be like, how can I enroll my kids to school? All those questions you have, because you come here and you don't know anything about the country. Of course, when you were back home, you know about Canada, everything, but once you come, you don't know what to do, like how to get a car, how to buy bus tickets if you cannot buy a car. So all those kind of questions you have. How can I get a job? Yeah, I start to look for a job, but if I don't know how to make my own resume into the Canadian
or who could
standard,
help you?
Exactly, who's gonna help me? So that's what I'm here for, to help them to settle well in Canada. But how do I do it? So the first thing is that I make like a checklist for them, and let's start with the important things, and then we go for the not important things, yeah, because we
not
have
that
like
much important, because everything
is important. The urgent things. Let's name it like the urgent things.
Yeah, prioritize.
So that's exactly, we need to prioritize. I also facilitate conversation circle sessions, so everyone is invited. Everyone can come. Before, like about 2 months ago, I was only able to help the people who lived in our area. But now it's going to be for all Manitoba. So I am inviting everyone who really needs this kind of support. So everyone who has an open work permit.
Wow.
Even the people that just come like a visitor, it has a visitor visa.
Yeah.
They can also come. Obviously, I won't register them, but they can also come and they can join. They can join this class and enjoy, learn, having fun. So everyone is welcome. We also have child minding. We have like about 20 spots per session, because we have like 3 people who can definitely come and help. They are certified, child minders. So it's really convenient for everyone. We provide bus tickets. We offer some food. Everything is included. People really have fun. They enjoy. And you know what we're doing? We're bringing some important speakers to, at least like 10 to 15 sessions per year. We're inviting people, like someone from MPI, a realtor, someone who can talk about YMCA membership program, or something regarding dental and dental benefits, or everything related with a health concern. So we also do that. Yeah. It's really important.
But what is that organization that you're working with?
It's ECRC, Elmwood Community Resource Center. I think it's one of the best ones, and it's very complete. A lot of people can come because we have different programs. So once they go there, they can definitely register, and they can come to the programs. People who live in our area, R2L or R2P, can join to settlement help. But the rest of the people can join any other program.
Oh, that's good.
Yes.
And they are very lucky to have you.
Oh, thank
You're
you
awesome,
so much.
Carolina. Thank you so much
awesome
for
too.
being here with us, giving
Thank
us
you so
some
much.
tips for the CELPIP test. And thank you to our wonderful audience for being there with us. See you next time. This is the Newcomer Network. I am Jocelyn Gilbert, and see you soon. Bye-bye.
Thank you so much. Bye-bye.